Welcome to Football with Cheese. So, in this video, we're going to talk about how the Houston Texans royally screwed the rest of the NFL with their second round pick contract. I have been thinking about this video for about a week. I wanted some second round picks to sign first. I want to see what they go for. So, we'll get into it. First, though, make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a video. Houston Texans fans, if you hate this, you can let me know in the comments. Be respectful, though. One of my best friends is a Texans fan. He's much bigger into baseball, bigger Astros fan, but he likes the Texans. So I'll be curious to see what he thinks of this. But to fully understand exactly what the Texans did and why it was so wrong, we need to go back. So before 2011, rookies, especially first-round picks, there was basically no fixed salary. So agents wanted to get the rookies as much money as possible, especially in the top five. So quarterbacks like Sam Bradford and Matt Stafford and Eli Manning were getting paid more than a lot of veterans, like good veteran quarterbacks, because they were drafted first overall. And the NFL didn't like that. And a lot of veteran players didn't like that because they hadn't played a snap. They had not proven themselves. And what was happening, we'll use the Detroit Lions as a great example. They could not sign any free agents because they kept picking the top five. The Lions really stunk 20 years ago. If you're under 30 years old, you might not know that. But the Lions were really bad for so many years in a row, just poorly managed. Matt Millen is one of the worst general managers in NFL history. He was in charge for many years. But the Lions kept picking the top 5, top 10, and they had to keep paying these rookies so much money. And so they had salary cap issues. So the good teams, the playoff teams, had more salary cap room because they were paying their first round picks so much less than the bad teams. So the NFL wanted to change that. In 2011, in the collective bargaining agreement, they did what's called fixed scale for rookie contracts, rookie wage scale, basically, where each pick had a number attached to it. So the first overall pick did not get paid nearly as much as the year before. So every pick has an amount attached to it. It's a 4-year deal for every pick, all 7 rounds. It's a 4-year deal, a fixed amount. Only difference is the first round pick, you get a 5th-year option if you're the NFL team. If the player's really good, you can pick up their 5th-year option. It's a guaranteed amount of money. And if they aren't good, you can decline it and they can be a free agent. And this was good for the players and the owners because basically 15, 20 guys got paid in the first round and everyone else didn't. So why, if you're a veteran player, are we wanting to help out 15, 20 rookies, unproven rookies? But what the players wanted was to make sure that that money went to the veterans, to the free agents. And let's see, according to this, 48.8% of the revenue goes to the players. So the salary cap is just under half of the revenue. So veteran players get paid more now, and unproven rookies still get paid millions, let's be honest. But unproven rookies don't get the contracts like they used to. And one thing that they should have done in that collective bargaining agreement in 2011 is also go over guaranteed money in those contracts, which they don't. So for example, if your contract's 4 years, $26.5 million with a 5th-year option, the agreement does not talk about guaranteed money. And that is the problem. So what happened was right after this agreement, the first maybe half of the first round got their 4-year contracts guaranteed. Then it was top 20, then top 25. And last year, the 2024 season, all 32 players in the first round got their 4-year contracts guaranteed. Okay? And let's talk about Keon Coleman. He was the first pick of the second round, wide receiver out of Florida State, drafted by the Bills. Bills traded down twice. And he got a 4-year deal worth just over $10 million. And 9.6 guaranteed, so a little less than $500,000 guaranteed. So almost the entire contract, but not all. Okay, that's fine. And I'm sure the 34th pick got a little less guaranteed, 35th pick you know how it goes. So the Houston Texans this year decided to give the 34th pick, the second pick of the second round, Jayden Higgins, a fully guaranteed contract. And that has completely screwed over the second round. And most of the second round picks now have signed, but a week ago, only 2 had signed. Okay? And those are Jayden Higgins, the 34th pick, second pick of the second round, and Carson Schlesinger, the 33rd pick, who went to the Browns. Same pick as Keon Coleman the year before. Now, the Texans had the 25th pick originally in the first round. They traded back with the Giants. The Giants wanted to draft Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. And maybe the Texans would have taken Jayden Higgins with the 25th pick. There were some rumors that he might go in the first round. Jayden Higgins, size, weight, speed, hands, he's got tools to be a really good receiver in the NFL. But they didn't take him in the first round. And they did not need to give him a fully guaranteed contract. So what happened was the Browns then, picking 33rd, they took Carson Schlesinger, like I said, linebacker UCLA. They had to give him a fully guaranteed contract. I wish the Browns had said, we got to ignore the Texans. They do crazy things. Let's just give you a little more guarantee than Keon Coleman from last year. But they gave him a fully guaranteed deal. So for the longest time in the offseason, every contract was signed except for 30 of the 32 second-round picks, basically any second-round pick after Jayden Higgins, and, of course, Shamar Stewart of the Bengals, first-round pick. We're going to make a video about that next week, the Bengals situation. What a mess. Anyway, so the 35th pick is Nick Emenwari, safety out of South Carolina, drafted by the Seahawks. So, of course, he wants a fully guaranteed deal because the 34th pick got it. And then there was a rumor that the 40th pick, Tyler Shuck, quarterback Louisville, drafted by the Saints, wanted fully guaranteed contract because he's a quarterback. And obviously he got it, but let's back up a second. So because of all these guarantees, no one else in the second round had signed their contract up to a week ago, and training camps are about to start. But everyone in the third round after is signed. Every first-round pick except for Shamar Stewart has signed. So what happened is Alfred Collins, who was the 43rd pick, 3 picks after Shuck, signed his contract. And I give the 49ers and I give Collins and his agent credit. Because if that doesn't happen, I don't know if any second-round pick is signed besides Schlesinger and Higgins. And he took 9 of the $10.3 million guaranteed. Okay, good for you. Once that happened, other contracts started getting done. But let me pull this up. I thought I had it. The 35th pick, like we mentioned, Nick Emenwari got a fully guaranteed deal. And then 37th pick, Jonah Savanaia, Dolphins got a guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed for 4 years. Travion Henderson, 38th pick, running back from Ohio State, went to the Patriots, fully guaranteed contract. Luther Burden, wide receiver, went to the Bears from Missouri, fully guaranteed contract. And of course, like I mentioned, Tyler Shuck got his fully guaranteed contract, quarterback out of Louisville, to the Saints. So now we went from only 32 players getting their contract fully guaranteed to the top 40. And the 41st pick, TJ Sanders, defensive tackle from South Carolina, drafted by the Bills, has not signed yet. I'm sure he wants a guaranteed contract. The 42nd pick was Mason Taylor, tight end, LSU, went to the Jets. He got 91.3 guaranteed. He has signed his contract. So if I'm the Bills, I don't want to give him a fully guaranteed deal. I want to give him maybe 93, 94% because the pick after got 91%. So it's a mess. And the Texans didn't have to do it. I don't know why they did it. They didn't have to give him fully guaranteed money. So most second-round picks now have signed. Thank you, Alfred Collins and the 49ers once again. Most of them have signed. No one outside the top 40 has gotten a guaranteed deal. And the Bills really need TJ Sanders in camp. The Bills are going for it. The Bills have one of the best rosters in the NFL, one of the best teams. And they needed help at interior pass rush. That's why they traded up to get TJ Sanders. They need him in camp. He's probably going to play a lot of snaps this year. So the Texans just absolutely screwed over everything. And it's going to be a huge problem going forward. Because now, next year, the top 40 players are all going to get guaranteed contracts. You bet. And if Sanders at 41 gets it guaranteed, the 42nd pick next year, probably the 50th pick next year is going to want guaranteed money, especially if it's a quarterback. And eventually, years from now, everyone in the third round is going to want a guaranteed contract. You cannot do that. These rookies are unproven. A lot of them are going to bust. And third round picks, do you know how many third round picks become starters? Something like 25%. And I get it. Some of these players are never going to be starters based on their role. You might have your number 3 wide receiver, your backup running back, your designated pass rusher. They're never going to be starters. So that's part of the reason why it's so low. And let me give you an example of a team that's really well managed. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jason Licht, their GM, I think he does a terrific job. Their strategy is to take a guy in the first round, at least the last 2 years, that has a high floor. Probably not going to bust because we're giving these guys 4-year guaranteed. So last year he took Graham Barton, offensive lineman from Duke, in the first round, played him at center. He has an up and down rookie year. He played left tackle at Duke, moving to center. That's tough, but he's a really good athlete. I think he's going to be a really good center in the league and was considered one of the safer picks of the draft. This year, he takes Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver, Ohio State. It was not close to their biggest need, wide receiver. You could argue their wide receiver was one of their strengths of their team, but Egbuka was considered maybe the highest floor player in the first round. I think Egbuka at worst is a number 3 receiver, and maybe at best he's a number 2. I don't think he'll ever be a number 1. But he's so good after the catch, runs great routes. That's such a good pick. No, he does not have upside of some of the other receivers in this class, but I get it. You're giving players 4-year guaranteed. Let's get a player that we know is at least going to be a good player. Maybe not a great player, but going to be a good player. And then in the second round, what Tampa did is took a chance. They took Benjamin Morrison, corner from Notre Dame, who had 2 hip surgeries. He would have been a first-round pick probably without the injuries. So he is a huge risk, but you're not guaranteed his whole contract, except it's probably going to be close now. I'm not sure if Benjamin Morrison signed. Most of them have. Let me see. What pick was Morrison? Yeah, he remains unsigned. 53rd pick. The 54th pick has signed Anthony Belton, offensive tackle, Green Bay Packers, so probably get done soon. But that has to be Tampa's strategy, and I like that strategy. But now it's going to change how teams draft. They're going to take more safe picks. If all these contracts are guaranteed first, second, even third round, you're not going to see teams take chances. It's not going to be as fun to watch the draft. The players that are injured or have high upside but maybe haven't proven it yet, they're going to fall in the draft. And teams are just not going to take as many chances. And one more point. It's going to lead to teams not trading up as much. Why would you want to move up in the top 40? Say you're picking early third round, like the 67th pick. Why would you want to move in the top 40 when I can sit at 67, maybe keep my 4th round pick as well, and not have to guarantee a whole contract? This is just a mess. And here's the solution. The players and owners need to get together. The veteran players, not the rookies. Obviously, they want guaranteed contracts. They need to get together and figure this out. Okay, fine. Let's guarantee everybody in the first round 4-year contract. But how about this? This is my suggestion. You guarantee 90% of the contract for the first 8 players of the second round. The first quarter, there's 32 picks, so the first 8. And then the next 8 get 80% of their contract guaranteed. The next 8, 70, and the next 8, 60. So then the third round, there's more than 32 picks in the third round because there's some compensatory picks. So maybe the first half of the third round gets 50% guaranteed. The second half gets 40. And then you can guarantee maybe half the 4th round 35, the other half 30, 5th round 25 and 20, down from there, maybe 10 or 15% of 6th round picks, maybe 5% of 7th rounders, because half of 7th rounders get cut anyway. Something like that. They need to come to an agreement, because if they do not, I'm telling you, in 3 or 4 years, every player in the first, second, third round is going to get a guaranteed contract, and it's going to lead to so many salary cap issues. It's going to lead to players not getting drafted with any injury concerns. So Texans really screwed things up, and I'm just happy that these second rounders are finally getting signed, but the top 40 guaranteed, maybe top 41. I'm telling you, next year, this is going to be a mess. Because if you're an agent, you want as much money, as much guaranteed money for your client as possible. This issue is not going away unless the owners and players get together and fix it. Every year it's going to get worse and worse, and we might have a situation where second and third round picks by the first preseason game still haven't signed. And that's a disaster because so many teams have drafted second, third round picks to start right away, especially second rounders. I'm looking at every second rounder, half of the players at least are probably going to start or be a significant contributor right away. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Share this with anyone who loves football as we continue to grow football with cheese. If you have not, please check these out, and I'll see you in the next video.